Firstly, you wear number 24. I noticed that straight away. Your
Mhm.
running style reminds me of another player who used to wear that number, Marshawn Lynch. So I need to know, is Marshawn an inspiration to you at all?
That is the reason I wear number 24. Growing up, Marshawn was the running back that I watched. I loved the way he played. He was physical, but he also was always himself no matter what. And you could see that. If you know Marshawn Lynch and you've seen him, like, even, in the media aspect of anything, like he's been on TV shows and he's not trying to be anybody else. He's being himself. But as far as football, yes, Marshawn Lynch is the reason I wear number 24.
Have you ever had a chance to speak to him? I know that he obviously reaches out to a lot of different people. He likes to help to the next generation of running backs. Have you ever had a chance to speak?
No, so crazy story. There's this type of padding. It's like the I forget what it's called, but Marshawn has his own line in it, and his line obviously is called Beast Mode. And instead of the regular normal pads, his pads are everywhere. And I was trying to get it, and then they were like, "All right, well, if you qualify for it, like you'll end up having a conversation with him." And I don't know what happened. Like they stopped reaching out to me, so I didn't really get to speak to him. But now I feel like if that opportunity ever rolls in my direction, I like to have.
Now, as a big fan of Marshawn, when I'm watching running backs in college, I like to try and find the players that have got a similar running style. It's quite easy to want to run like Marshawn. It's quite difficult to
Mhm.
actually pull it off. So, how have you managed to pull that off?
Honestly, I've been running like this since I was a kid. I always tell everybody the story about how I became like a physical runner. When I was younger, my uncle was like 4 or 5 years older than me at the time. Um, and that's when before people stayed inside on Xbox, iPads, and all that. So we were forced to go outside or you stay in the house all day. It was pick your poison. So one day we were playing football. I think it was like us against our neighbors. It was a bunch of us. And we didn't win. So my uncle, when we got back, my uncle was like, "Yo, go put your pads on. I'm gonna put my pads on, and we about to play." So when you just get hit over and over, and you're like, "I can't take this no more." So when I got old enough to actually get stronger and faster, I had to let somebody else feel that, and I always picture him trying to tackle me or trying to run through me or whatever, and I just gotta display my toughness and my physicality.
Do you think it's a mentality thing? Because you've got to have talent, you've got to have the physical
Mhm.
traits to be able to do this. But with Marshawn, it always felt like it was part of him as well. And is it part of you? Is that mentality so crucial to this running style?
Yes, yes, 100%. I think a lot of running backs kind of have the same mentality, but it's it's different in a way. Like Marshawn, he said he would run through people's face. Like I'm pretty, you heard he's over and over and over. You keep running through people, they won't want to tackle you anymore, and that's kind of my mentality. But other running backs' mentality is just I don't want to get hit. So they would juke or stuff, and I'm not really that type of running back. So the mentality that Marshawn had, I feel like it makes it easier. You run through people, and honestly, they won't want to hit you. So, yeah, I feel like that mentality is important.
I love the fact that you referenced that interview that he did though, where he's going over and over and over. I have to watch that clip every year just because it's so much fun. But I did
Yeah,
find
for
this.
real.
I found this quote from Cash Daniel, who's a former Kentucky linebacker, and he said, "Chris
Mhm.
just always has this smile on his face getting up from the huddle. He'll get pumped and everything like a football player does, but other than that, he's all smiles, calm, cool, and collected. Then he just runs through your face." I thought that was a pretty cool quote. How does that sum you up as a person and a player?
I mean, it pretty much sums it up. Like Cass said, man, I'm always smiling no matter what's going on. I smile through everything. If I am in an upset mood, I get upset by myself. I don't know anybody ever see me upset. Uh, because that's just who I am. I got a beautiful smile is what my mom always used to tell me, so I like to show it off. And but yeah, once the whistle gets blown and we're in between those lines, it gets serious. I get up, next play, smile, run through you, get up, smile, and just do it all over again.
There is another side to your game, though, that I don't think gets enough attention. And I want to highlight it here because your longest run in 2022, 72 yards. Longest run in 21, 41 yards. Longest run in 2020, 79 yards. And in 2019, 64 yards. So you can run it to the house. You are not just a short yardage guy. You can make those explosive big runs. You had a good 40 at the pro day. Do you think it's time that people started to look at you as a complete back and not just maybe focus on what is obvious, that you love to run through someone's face?
Yes, 100%. A lot of people didn't think I had the speed. A lot of people didn't think I was a complete back, even, as the catching aspect too. People were always kind of like, oh, well, can you catch? You don't have a lot of attempts. And I'm just like, well, it's not on me. Like, we got a great quarterback with great receivers. Like, if he finds them open, it's not on me. And then when we did have backs out of the backfield, we had a different running back that came in, Jaton McClain and Kavasi Smoke. So, I didn't get as many passes attempts as them because I was getting the ball. Like, I was getting handed to me all the time. But yeah, I feel like I'm a complete back. There's stuff that I do want to work on and feel like I can get better at, but I mean, there's always room for improvement in every aspect of my game.
I think I'm right in saying you were a two-time team captain as well. What
Mm-hmm.
kind of leadership did you bring to Kentucky? And how do you have an idea of becoming a leader as well in the NFL? Obviously when you come in, you're going to be a rookie first of all, but over time, you may well be able to develop into a leader.
Yes. So when I first got to Kentucky, like everybody, well, most people, it didn't happen right away for me. Um, but when I did get that starting job and I was elected a leader, it was just honestly, it felt good to me. But at the same time, I had to be the leader that I knew I was and not try to be anybody I wasn't. Like, for instance, when when Will Levis got to Kentucky, he was the vocal guy and he was gonna, tell you if you're doing something wrong. Me, I was always the type of lead by example type leader. Like, no matter what's going on, what's bad, I was gonna go out there and I was gonna give it my all. For instance, we were playing a game this year that we were losing and we knew we shouldn't be losing it, but not once did I give up. That's when I broke off that long run, probably my longest run. I think that's when it was. But yeah, I never folded my head and just kept going. And then in the NFL, I do hope I become a leader. I am trying to step outside my comfort zone and be a little more vocal. But I know it doesn't take much to get people in the NFL really kind of hyped up, like everybody's there, they have something to play for. So that's kind of one of the big things for me is just kind of stepping out of my comfort zone.
I've interviewed Will Levis, and I did want to ask you a question about him. What is he like as a teammate? What was it like playing with him? What do you think a team's going to get from Will Levis if they draft him to be their quarterback?
Yeah. Honestly, if you get Will Levis, regardless if you start him right away or sit him a year, he's gonna be that dude. Like, that's just how he is. That's how he's wired. He's gonna be a leader. He's gonna give it his all every day. And he's just he the way he carries himself, not only off on the field but off the field. He's not one of those cocky dudes. There's dudes like that who feel like they made it. Will never feels like he arrives. When we were having like in 21, we were having a great season. Um, Will was still up there watching film every day, every morning. He lived at the facility. Like, he would go up there and eat, go watch film, go to class, come back, watch more film, go to practice, watch film after. And it was just like, dude, go home. But at the same time, it's like, that's what it takes to win. That's what it takes to be successful. And, off the field wise for me, I always tell everybody, like, Will, like, there's teams that have cliques. Like that's just how it is. Will was never in a single friend group. He was either talking to you, trying to get in your friend group, or he was going to force his way in. And for that, I respected him. He didn't find it uncomfortable to sit down and talk to you. Like there's people that, like, if you're in the cafeteria by yourself, like, I'll go sit by myself. But no, Will walks in, he sees you by yourself, he's gonna come sit next to you and start a conversation with you. He's just a great all around dude.
Do you find it hard then? And this is just a follow up question on this. Do you find it hard to see some of the stuff that is out there at the moment? For example, people criticizing him because he posted a picture on social media just saying this I'm in the best shape of my life, and people criticizing somebody for, I don't know, working hard in the gym seems like a little strange to me. But
Yeah.
as a teammate, how do you sort of feel about that kind of stuff when people are saying
Yeah,
that about
honestly, honestly, like it's weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like, somebody working hard in the gym is no different from anybody else. Like, Will, he wanted to show off his progress. Like, if I had the big transformations, I'd show my body off too. But I'm still trying to get my six pack right. That's still working on it. But nah, I mean, to see people criticize him, and listen, I promise you, Will doesn't care about it. But for me, it's like, dude, like, he's just being normal. Like, he's not like he's doing anything out of the ordinary. I mean, if he sent it to a NFL scout and was like, "Hey, look at my body," I'd be like, that's kind of weird. But it's not like he did that. He posted on his social media, and you probably don't even know. Maybe it was like a little NIL deal that he was doing or something. But people don't understand that. I feel like right now it's kind of hard to find football to talk about. So when they do see something that they can talk about, they just take it and run with it.
What is your schedule like at the moment? Then it's 3 weeks to the draft. Day to day, what is life like? You've had pro day now, and are
Mm-hmm.
you taking visits with teams? Are you speaking to teams? What is it like at the moment?
Yeah, so I just got back actually from one of my 30 visits. And then I had a lot of my Zoom calls prior to today, honestly. So I think I got maybe one or two more. I have one more 30 visit, and then I have a at school visit. And then that's pretty much it. And then once the 20th rolls around, I'll be heading home, and then for a little bit. And then I don't know who's going to go with me yet, but we have the NFL PA debut, which is in Kansas City. So I'll be going to that. And then, just getting back home and trying to figure out where I'm gonna have this party at for me and all my friends, friends and family for the draft.
And what are your aims and ambitions for the NFL?
So right now, my only goal, my only aiming point for me is to make the team. Make the team first, and then after that is to play special teams, play running back, whatever they need me to do to help be successful as a program, or as a business. I would say now, it's what I'll do. I mean, I want to be the best. I want to leave a legacy, and I want to be in the Hall of Fame. But that doesn't come right away, and that doesn't come by making it and just celebrating. And it's more than that. It's bigger than that. So my main goal right now is to just make it and play and help any way I can.